So let us start. I already have the compensated class. So we should start since this page, talking about Internet Protocol Stack. We have 5 layers. Application layer, the first one. Transport layer, network layer, data link layer, and physical layer. And actually for each layer, we have the summarize missions or tasks for each layer. So for application layer, we will have the service to support network applications. What kind of application? You can have email, so we have IMAP, SMTP. You can have a web page, so we have HTTP. We have the others. And currently, we already have the open protocol. Open means each one, if you want to implement, then you can follow that standard to implement. So we have the open protocol here. And how about, you see, open, so can we have the private? Summarize it's private, but we don't call it private protocol. We call it proprietary protocol. So we have Skype, possibly, right? Well, application layer should support the network application, including email, web, and VoIP, etc. And for transport layer actually you can choose, for example, web, and then the web should have some possible service provided by the lower layer. So lower layer is the transport layer. And transport layer we will discuss it in the other chapter, including TCP, UDP. And network layer, we should have the routing of the packets. Here, we don't call packets, but we have a datagram. So datagram similar to packets. So routing of a datagram or packets from the source node to the destination node. And link, actually we have the similar function from transport layer. But link layer just care about, I want to have the reliable transmission from the current node to the nearby node and nearby node. For the transport layer, actually from the source to the destination. And physical, actually, we have bits on the wire, so we have the physical layer. Well, so we have all the possible service for each layer. Well, if we have the layers, and we have the application for sure. And right now, we want to have some illustration how we have the message exchange from the source to the destination. This way. So message from the application, because we need to have the service provided by the lower layer. It's the transport layer for the current one. And transport layer should have the proper header. So we have a header, and the header for the transport layer, so we have sub T. Sub T, and then we have H sub T. And so that we have the current format. The current format, we call it segment, right? So we have a segment here. And likewise, we can have the service provided by the lower layer. Then we have the header again. And the current header, you can call it packet, but it's internet, so we call it datagram. And likewise, we have a header again from link layer, so that we have a frame. So we have a message, and then we have a segment, then datagram, and finally it's frame. Why I call it finally? Because later we don't have the specific name for the format, because it's bits. So we have the original message. To the transport layer, we have a segment. To network layer, we have a datagram, not packet. In fact, it's a concept of a data packet, but we call it datagram. And then we have a frame Finally, we have a bit stream, so we don't have the specific name for the current format. And here we have the operation encapsulation. Encapsulation, so we put the original data into some form. For example, segment. We have in fact, we have a payload and payload plus header, so that we have the total data we want to carry. So this is operation encapsulation. And here we have a decapsulation. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's the decapsulation. We have an encapsulation. We should put into the something like the box. But right now we need to remove, to open the box to get the information. So this direction is decapsulation. And so that we should have the information. The information know, oh, I know which output. And then, so we can continue. So that reach here, we have the inverse operation of encapsulation. That says we have the decapsulation. Right? So finally, we have the original message. Well, why we want to have the protocol stack for internet, actually we need to have the function from each layer, and so that we can have the encapsulation and decapsulation, so that we can have the message exchange between the source node and destination node. Well, of course, we already have the term here, right? So this is the operation for the protocol stack, and later we will check the individual layer, application layer in chapter 2, transport layer in chapter 3, and the other chapter to take care of network layer, the heading layer. And of course, for physical layer, we don't have the specific one. Well, so we already have the protocol stack of internet. We have 5 layers. And later we will already have a different architecture, so that we have 7 layers. And 7 layers, we have the name, OSI 7 layer. But before that, let us have the history quickly. And specifically, we talk about internet history. Internet history, we start from this event first. One professor, Clan Rock provided the queuing theory. Well, queuing, that says something like we need to line up and then wait for the service. Why queuing theory is important to the internet? Because we want to employ packet switching, right? Packet switching, we already know in the past we have a packet switching and we have a circuit switching. It seems to be packet switching can have the more user to use, but more users. So some of users should wait. And then we have the phenomenon of queuing. So it's really important to investigate the performance of internet if we want to employ the packet switching. Therefore, the queuing theory provided by Clan Rock is really important. So that's why we mentioned this event. And after that one, we have some other event. This one, Baron, it tried the packet switching in the military nets, right? And you can check the others. ARPANET. ARPANET actually, it tried to extend the military net to the real one. So we have ARPANET. And ARPANET reached this year, then we have the first node only. All right, and we can have the other event. I just go through quickly. So during these years, we have the early packet switching. And after that one, we have a different net. We have Aloha. Aloha net. Well, Aloha in Hawaii, yes, it's true. In Hawaii, we need to have the proper communication. So we have the way to communicate. And that kind of network we call it Aloha net. And Aloha based on satellite. So in Hawaii, we have Aloha net. So it's the real one. After the maybe military net, then we have the real life net. It's called the Aloha net in Hawaii. And we have the further enhancement by the others. You can check it, but I don't want to check all of them. So the important event should be this one. Serve and cons internetworking principle. Try to have the principle to support the internetworking. So we have this one to have the internetworking. And currently, we don't have maybe the TCP, but this year we have TCP IP. All right, and we have some application email. All right, and then DNS and the others. All right, so talking about the current internet, actually, we should have the possible example since 1980. And how many nodes? This one. And after that one, so we can have the other application. All right, including web. Here, it's web. And the others. And so that we have the possible application you can see. All right. But before that one, you can see previously we have ARPANET. But in this year, ARPANET is mentioned. All right. So originally we have some possible net to have a trial, or maybe to have a trial. And after that, we have the mature network. So we have the new one by checking some new application, including web. To have web, then we have HTTP and the others. But the first browser is this one, Mosaic. And later we have Netscape. And currently, maybe some of you have ever tried, but you use Explorer or the others. So we have the new browsers. And we have the new application. So I think you can check them. And up to now, the new application will be provided by using AI. So internet and AI, how to combine them. So this is a new trend. All right, so here we have the summary. We talk about all these. We already have the internet overview. Then we have the short discussion talking about protocol. And we have network edge and network core. And we check performance. And here we have protocol stack. So we have service model based on internet. Now, of course, in the compensated class, I talk about security quickly. And of course, right now, we already have the history. All right, so this is the content I cover in Chapter 1, overview. All right. So that's all for the current chapter. And before we proceed to the next chapter, we have attendance checking here. Let me check. Go and check it. Now, okay, so let me switch. So is it okay? How about this? So you use the current group, all right? I don't know why I ask you to have the group ID, because I push you to care about the groups, all right? And suddenly you will check, okay, I should belong to some of groups. And for this week and the other 2 weeks, you can keep the same groups. Of course, if you want to go to a different group, that's okay, because we have the group. If you want to have the answer, you will mention the group. It doesn't matter. But every 3 weeks, I will push you to change. So, not finished? Raise your hands. No, right? So let me go to the next one. And we have some additional discussion, including OSI 7 layers here. OSI 7 layer, why we have a 7 layer? For this one, we have an app for internet. However, for OSI, we have the presentation section. All right, the function of presentation and section here. Presentation, oh, okay, if I ask you to have a presentation. So maybe you can have some rough meaning of a presentation. Allow application to have the interpret meaning of data. So you need to show, what's the meaning of something else? So we have meaning including inclusion, comprehension, and the other specific conventions. So this is the function for the presentation. And next one, session. Actually, if we have some video conferencing, that is called the section. And that section, we need to start, for example, the conversation. We need to have the synchronization, checking point, and how to recover the data. Well, we have the 2 extra layers, presentation and section. And so that we have the full, actually put them together, we have the full function for the internet. However, for the internet should cover the presentation and section function of a presentation and section layer within the single layer, application layer, and that's it. All right, you see, internet, we don't have the 2 layers, but indeed the 2 layers are included in the app layer. So this is the OSI 7 layer. So OSI 7 layer reference model. All right, so if someone else mentions 7 layer, and for all the layers here, sometimes if you want to have your own simple implementation, can you skip some of the layer? Sure. If you don't want to consider the interoperability, you just want to have the function for your client and server to work properly. You can have the simplified protocol stack for sure. All right. Or maybe for some layer, you can rely on some function, for example, from internet. That's okay for sure. And the Wireshark, here just mention Wireshark, you can have the packet sniffing. So for this one, I think you can check it. And I let you know we have a Wireshark. You can check the taskbar after this chapter. You will have some information about that. Wireshark, actually we want to know some information of the packet. So we have the packet analyzer. All right. Or maybe we need to have the function of packet capture and the other. So you can check all of these. Well, so this is an additional description to the current chapter, chapter 1. We already have the OSI 7-layer reference model. And of course, let us know Wireshark for sure. If you want to try, you can try to, for example, use Google to find how to use Wireshark. Well, after the chapter, in fact, I just push you to rethink about what you have learned from this chapter, right? So you can check your own maybe handwritings, or maybe check some of the video you can reach. And then I ask you to let me know. Maybe you can try this one. Is it okay? If not okay, I need to go to Prof. I ask you to let me have some technical key terms you learned. So is it okay? All right, so this one. That you have 2 minutes to think about this. Anyone in your mind, you can put it to the current answer. And so that later I will check which term you have. And so that we have the aggregation of all terms from all of you. So can you see this? Okay. So maybe you can continue, but let me check the terms. So first of all, because I asked you to have a student ID, but I know that one. We have a protocol, all right, and maybe because of that, so right now it's hard to have the detail for technical term. We have a circuit switching, is correct. And transmission, right? So transmission, we have transmission delayed. And maybe some of you check the tool, Wireshark, that's okay? And about queuing, we have a queuing delay. And for internet, we have a packet switching network. Almost okay. And let me check. Now finish? Finish, right? So maybe next time I try to remove this, and so that you can have the technical key term easily. So we have a delay for sure. That's okay. So let me check. Anyone mention internet here? Internet? No. Oh yeah, maybe I cannot find it. But yeah, it's true. We have an internet. All right, something like that. So I just push you to rethink about what you learned from this chapter for this purpose. And this one, of course, I will assign points to the activity properly. All right, so let me go to the next one. So we already have an introduction in chapter 1, and right now we have the top layer, application layer. And we will talk about application layer in this chapter. First of all, we have the principles of network applications. And then we will share some of details by using examples of web. So we have HTTP. Email, so we have SMTP and IMAP and DNS. And after that one, we already have some possible working mechanism for P2P application. And we have video streaming. So we have content distribution network, CDN. And finally, we also already have some possible simple example to use circuit programming. Circuit programming with UDP or circuit programming with TCP. For your final project, in fact, I ask you to implement some application by using circuit programming as well. In week F, so in F week, I will ask you to have your groups. All right, you should choose your own groups. Maybe you should have some of a partner. All right, I have some requirement for forming the groups in your final project. So you just check the syllabus. Not the same as the current one. You can have the different one for sure, because for the current group formation, we change every 3 weeks. So you should have your permanent group for the final project. So final project, we focus on circuit programming. And circuit programming, indeed, you need to show how you reach circuit programming. It doesn't mean you have the app and all the apps, the details of circuit programming provided by someone else. No, you should have your implementation. Okay, so this layer, application layer. Well, actually, maybe 1 or 2 days ago, I didn't have the video and asked you to share. Even the time is really short, but I think I will already have the simple test only. So never mind that too much. If you never check the video, sure, here, this is the video for you. This is the newly recorded video. In the past, I have, you should understand, I have the other possible video, but I don't have the video clip directly from those videos. I have the new video for you. And about the quality, this time I think it's okay. As for the delivery, you feel happy or not, I'm not sure, but at least I already have the, maybe from my viewpoint, a better quality. better video quality. So you can check this one. And there you have the checking for the free classroom style by using this one. So you can check those videos, or you can check some of the content to have the answer. There you have 5 minutes. Okay, go and check it. If it's not okay, I will switch. Let me check with some of you. So can you see this?
Yes.
At this one.
At this one.
Yeah,
So
at this one.
Just one and
Yeah.
sort of
At this you need to show one.
Okay.
Or maybe you think, okay, you want to follow, then
Okay.
you just repeat.
I just paste it here. Also paste it here.
I will let you know at this
Yes,
one.
yes.
So more time? Okay, maybe 2 more. 2 more minutes for you. So is it okay? Now okay. All right, again, 2 more. So that's it. Is it okay? And take a rest. All right.